Hello everyone, here we are in St Mary's with the Mary, Joseph and the baby Jesus. What on earth are we doing with the Christmas figures at the end of January? Well, on Sunday, not here but at All Saints at Fearing, we'll be celebrating Candlemas, which you may think, what is that? It is a service that marks the end of the Epiphany season. Strictly speaking, it's the 2nd of February, which is a Thursday this year, but we're celebrating it on Sunday. And it's a last look back at the baby, not the baby in the manger as such, but it's a story of when Mary and Joseph, 40 days after the birth of Jesus, so if you work it out, 2nd of February is 40 days from the 25th of December, they take Jesus, their child, to give thanks for him to the temple in Jerusalem. And there they meet two elderly people, a man called Simeon, my namesake, and a woman called Anna. And as I said, it's the end of the Epiphany season, so the end of the whole kind of Christmas thing, the Advent, Christmas, Epiphany celebration. And it's a kind of hinge service, which I'll explain in a minute. While they're there, Simeon, who's been told by God that he will meet the Lord's Messiah before he dies, comes into the temple. Great big building. There's these two people who aren't used to this massive, great religious building with candles and oil lamps and what have you. And he takes the child from Mary's arms, which must have been slightly alarming for her, and said some words in traditional form that we now know as the Nunc Dimittis. Lord, now let thy servant go in peace. Thy word has been fulfilled. For my own eyes have seen the salvation which you have prepared in the sight of every people, a light to lighten the Gentiles and to be the glory of your people Israel. And so he recognises, somehow he senses that this child will be the one who, in Jesus' own words, will be the light of the world, a light to all the nations. And Anna says similar things too when she comes. And both of these people have been waiting an awful long time. And so this story is a hinge in that it both looks back one last time to the infant Jesus, but then in a rather strange thing that Simeon says to Mary, he says that the child will be a sign of contradiction for the rising and falling of many in Israel, i.e. a sign of conflict, which we know to be the case, and a sword will pierce your own soul too. Not a literal sword, as I was trying to explain to the primary school kids in assembly this morning, but pain and sorrow will come to Mary too, and of course it does when she sees her son hanging on the cross at his crucifixion. So it's a last look back to the Christmas story, but a hinge as we turn towards the cross and the adult Jesus and his ministry. But what I want to think about today is how the story celebrates elderly people, Anna and Simeon, and how waiting and being hopeful and just praying and continuing to hope and to pray is such a key part of the story. And so much now in the world we live in, we expect things to be instant. It's really annoying when things don't download on our phones straight away. We expect to know things straight away, and often we react straight away. And there's much to be said just for waiting. As the great poet R.S. Thomas put it, the meaning is often in the waiting. And that waiting patiently is something that's just as much part of our faith and should be part of our lives as the sense that we must have things straight away. Because good things do come, but sometimes they take time. Happy Candlemas. Amen.